The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm
What?
Dom. What's your name
What are
again?
what are you doing?
Who are you again?
I'm Charles. What are you talking about?
Charles, it is Bare Minimum Monday.
Bare minimum Monday.
Yep, that's right. I mean, we had quiet quitting.
Is that why you hardly dress?
Apparently there's now loud leaving. But no, Bare Minimum Monday.
Is this a new trend?
There's
Is it?
2 million...
What?
2 million posts with that hashtag on TikTok,
Oh, yeah.
and it's to avoid burnout. So I think for today,
yes.
we should just do the bare minimum for the podcast
Totally
today.
agree.
And I feel, Charles, that by virtue of having researched Bare Minimum Monday to the point that we can talk about it, which took about 30 seconds, that's already too much effort.
Yeah, I suppose.
So what do we do? I mean, don't we have to make these things at least 15 minutes long to be worth?
Well, can I suggest we outsource some of the effort by reading out the reviews that we've got? 'Cause
that's very lazy.
We did a call out.
Because we haven't had reviews. 'Cause the reviews that we can read are the ones on Apple Podcasts, by the way.
Yeah, so if you go and review it on Apple Podcasts, please give us 5 stars.
Yeah, that's the only one that works. If you don't put 5 stars, it's broken.
Yeah,
That's right. You have to put 5. That's what you have to do.
So, but the whole thing is, so we did a call out about a week ago asking people to leave some 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
And this is one that was written by Bike Brad a week ago saying, I love starting my day listening to Nina or Gabby or Lachlan or Rebecca or even when Sammy is on. Verity Firth's brother and Tom Knight will do until the others come back.
Which of us got more dissed by that description? I mean, sure, I'm not very memorable, but for the person to know that you are Verity Firth's brother, but then not name you, that's pretty well played by Bike Brad. So that's 5
And I
stars.
love the fact that, do we have Nina still in the photos or something?
I
Or-
don't
No,
think
we
so.
don't. It's
I mean,
just-
Nina was great. Nina Oyama's way too famous for this now. She did the
Yeah.
podcast in 2020, back when we could afford her. And I mean, look, the great thing is the episodes are still there. If you want to hear Nina, and a lot of the stuff
Yes.
we talked about was generic. It was usually her talking about her psychoses. So,
I remember the best episode that we had, if we're going to reminisce
about the
because of Bare
the
Minimum
days
Monday,
of Nina, yeah.
is that we once did a Welcome to the Future where we talked about a Bluetooth water bottle.
Oh, that's
that you
right.
that reminded you
To
to
drink.
drink water so that you'd stay hydrated. And the point was made that there is actually an automatic feature built into the human body, which is that you should drink water when you get thirsty.
Yeah, it's the
right?
sensation of thirst. It's almost as good as a Bluetooth water bottle.
But the funny thing was that Nina owned one of these bottles and swore by it. Remember?
Yeah.
And then but the whole weird thing about Nina was that every 20 minutes she'd have to duck out to go to the toilet, right? And it's because she was drinking some ridiculous amount of, it was like 4 litres of water a day or something.
Yeah, it was broken, the Bluetooth water bottle.
Oh, that's
Of
right.
course, that's
Yeah.
what it was. It's a Bluetooth product. Anyway, no, it was wonderful having her. Gabby and all the other sort of former interns and the demeaning phrase, they were all there. They're in the archive. You can go back and listen to them.
And Gabby, just talking about Gabby, is currently down in Melbourne doing her show, Odd
Yeah.
Sock.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether you can get you should try and get
It's
tickets.
sold out
to it.
already.
Well, she did a TikTok or Instagram post showing everyone walking in to her first performance last night. Completely full up. Like already, like first show sold out. Ridiculous.
You know the great thing about the Melbourne Comedy Festival?
what?
They don't have shows on Mondays. Bare Minimum Monday. They were the first to do it.
They
Any
were
other
the
day of the
first.
week you can do it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
mind you-
Gabby's killing it.
Can I also say, like, I'm taking my wife out for lunch today, and basically every good restaurant in Sydney closes on Mondays nowadays.
Really?
Yes, ever since COVID, you can't. They all are closed. It's as if people don't want to eat on Monday. Is their
They
thinking.
shouldn't. They shouldn't need to eat on Monday.
Why? Because they've had
Well, it's having a day off.
a satiated Saturday and
Yeah, just good. Wouldn't it be good for us all to eat less?
Yeah.
And I think they're helping.
Well, that would be very bare minimum.
I mean,
If
Paul
you're not
McCartney.
can't even be bothered eating.
Paul and Linda McCartney were trying to.
Do we have to feed
Yeah.
the kids, or is
No,
that too
definitely
much
not.
effort?
No, I mean that Paul and Linda McCartney were desperate to try and make vegetarianism popular, but they realised quite sensibly, unlike most vegetarians, they were sensible enough to know that all the time was ridiculous. So they came up with Meat Free Monday, which is where you're just eating less. You're just having one day with no meat, and that way,
Yes.
thereby a certain number of animals get to live. Not
Yes.
all of them, but
No.
a few. Where we could just do Meal Free Monday.
Meal-free Monday.
A day of fasting, and because it is a lot of effort to get to the fridge sometimes.
Yes, and maybe don't even drink anything. Turn off your Bluetooth water.
Oh, really? You don't think?
Yeah.
No water.
No water. No water Wednesday.
Dry Monday. Yeah, look, that's certainly a possibility. I thought you meant drink alcohol, but you're just saying any fluids at all.
Yeah. Because then you don't have to go to the toilet as much.
That would save on that effort.
Save on the effort. You might feel a little sort of headachy.
Yeah, I mean, the kidney stones you inevitably get by the end of the day will be a bit of effort to get rid of, but there'll be someone else's job.
Yeah.
So how have we gone with minimum effort in the podcast? I mean, I feel like we should have had more pauses. Like, well, why don't we just have a little pause? See how long people keep listening.
I think the pause is a bit too much effort.
It feels aggressive too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To just talk about nothing as we have
I think
been.
it's better to, when you pause, you start thinking about things. And then that's effort, right? Like you start thinking, I've got to do my tax.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got
You
to
definitely don't want to
gotta
block
go-
out that
I wonder
thought.
what we're having for dinner tonight. You know.
I wonder what the future of our podcast is. What am I going to talk about in tomorrow's episode?
Well, won't it be like Terrific Tuesday and it'll be all packed with
Tops effort Tuesday.
Oh,
yeah.
Topical Tuesday.
Topical Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably
We should
will.
make it very topical.
You know, the good thing, Charles, just by the by,
Hmm.
about doing a minimum effort Monday episode is you could actually record it the week before.
Oh, that's what we should have done.
We should have recorded it, I don't know, last Thursday afternoon.
Yes.
Because the thing to know is, that as we promised at the start of the podcast, we said when we started this daily podcast that it'd be 5 a.m. every day we'd be recording.
yeah, which is true.
Why did we stick to that? It was a stupid thing
I know,
to commit
especially
to.
on minimal effort Monday.
Yeah, we could have done...
We could have just done it yesterday.
We could have just done it, like had recorded, I don't know, twice a week or something and just done the whole week's episodes then.
Nah. But-
Why the fuck did we say we'd be here at 5 in the morning?
well, next Monday.
I don't think... have you listened to 7 a.m. much?
I don't think that they do it at 7
They,
a.m.
they can't
They
possibly.
definitely don't.
They can't possibly.
Because they often don't know what's been happening.
And it's often just what's
Yeah.
been in the Saturday paper.
Yes, like 2 days ago.
And that
3
comes
days
out once a week.
It should just be called like half a week ago. That's the name of
Yeah.
the 7 a.m. podcast is half a week ago.
Oh. You know, they're doing very well. They've got a lot of listeners. We should actually have copied them more accurately and tried to get as many listeners as them. You think anyone's still listening to...
Yeah,
'cause-
definitely. No, this is the sort of compelling content that,
Okay,
defines a generation.
Let's do a test. If you are still listening,
Oh, yeah.
go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review, 5 stars, please.
Saying-
And the code phrase. So last time we put the code phrase
was Wedding Bells for Rupert.
Wedding
and-
Bells for Rupert.
And
That was a
Wendy
good one.
Deng.
Yeah,
Remember?
Wendy Dang wrote a review. Friend of
wrote
the show.
a review, yeah.
Wendy Dang.
He's one of his exes.
Yeah.
I think it was like the third ex.
Yeah, yes. Page number 3.
When considering the Christian sacraments, it is only fitting that such an upstanding member of the modern world's ultra-capitalist bourgeoisie will celebrate holy matrimony again. Hopefully he will celebrate his final rites and funeral soon. Also, the podcast is fine, I guess.
Oh, thanks, Wendy. I'm not sure Rupert Murdoch's a member of the bourgeoisie. I think that might be a little bit of an error. But
The bourgeoisie.
But no, it's not. Yeah, English is not Wendy Deng's first language, though. So it's a pretty decent effort to
Yeah, I
even
think
spell
it's
bourgeoisie
very
correctly.
good.
Well
Yeah.
done, Wendy. I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you and Tony Blair are at the moment. There's another one. Which I actually don't know what it refers to. Background echoes, it says. Is this what a free double episode sounds like? Love it. Big grins, Mark, a.k.a. Car Full of Bogans. Did we stuff something up? Lachlan, what did you do? Background echoes, is this what a free double... maybe it just sounded bad.
I can't see that.
Maybe that's why the numbers are
yeah.
up. The code to tell us you've been listening, just in the review that you write, it's got to be something about Bare Minimum Monday. I was going to write a review and then realised it was a lot of effort.
Oh, yeah. It should be a bare minimum
Review, yeah.
Yeah.
Just write the least review possible.
Yes.
While still giving 5 stars naturally, because if you don't, it hurts us.
Yeah.
apparently.
So what would it be? Well, yeah, I suppose you can be as inventive as you like.
Yeah.
As long as you don't use
Just
don't use any vowels.
or effort.
No vowels.
Just no effort, no vowels. And I think consonants also is a bit of a stretch some days.
So maybe just punctuation.
You could just do an exclamation mark.
But I think that if you just use
If you just do an exclamation mark, it won't filter you out.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's find out. How minimal a review can you do
That will actually
get counted as a review? Yeah.
I've just noticed that the about description on the Apple Podcasts is extremely out of date and shows a complete minimal effort in keeping it up to date.
Oh,
Because
that's
it's
good.
called Now Daily in 2022. The podcast is a satirical look at Australian.
I mean, it's surprising it's 2022, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the photos are old. We can still afford Gabby in the photos.
Well, she's occasionally on.
She's occasionally on. Also, we said we'd do the bonus episodes. That really was a minimum effort, wasn't it? We should do some of those at some point.
I thought the idea was we're going to do Q&A, like we do a sort of talk back thing.
Q&A for...
Because when we're setting up this studio, because we're still setting it up, we're going to have a line that you can call.
Oh, yes. There'll be a phone number you can ring.
And you can leave your thoughts and then we'll play that on the podcast. Like it'll be a permanent sort of talk back line.
That'd be great.
I know.
What happens if they ring while we're recording?
No. But I think it's going to be one of those things where it's like, it's a mobile phone to the cloud, and then it records it, so it just actually saves the clip on our computer.
Yeah, well, don't rush. Don't rush to set that up.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
Bare minimum Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you can just call my phone, which is 0419 282 188. I really like it because Lachlan occasionally puts my phone number in the description.
Oh, does he?
And people text me about the show.
I never get texts about the show.
Yeah, I often get.
But as against that,
there was we got some feedback just the other day.
Okay, tell me.
Saying it was just correcting something that. Now it turns out OG MSG. Remember we were talking about Madison Square Garden the other day.
Yes,
and how they were doing one in the
Sphere.
desert.
Someone listened to the Sphere episode. That's great. I love the Sphere episode. Yeah. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, Welcome to the Future is its own podcast.
Oh yes, this is actually now Welcome to the Future, isn't it? Turns out the OG MSG was renovated, transformed only about a decade ago, Dom. So you know how you said, when you walk around Madison Square Garden, it's like the 80s.
I may not have been there in the past decade. I did go and see the Knicks play, but it might have been a decade ago.
It doesn't look that different.
Well, if they made it look the same. It was very shabby, though. Like, it was astonishing how shit it was. There you go. So thank you for that fact check. How funny people text you constantly about the podcast. I don't hear anything. People can tweet me if they want, at Dom Knight.
Why don't you just give out your phone?
Because I don't want to. I think it's hilarious that you're the only person who I know who would think that was a good idea.
Well,
I don't want to.
It saves effort.
I don't want to copy your innovative idea. Plus, you did it on national TV, and I haven't done that. I could do it on radio, I suppose, someday. Yeah. Okay. Any other texts of interest, or have we really run out of steam already? It has been bare minimum effort. We've delivered on the premise of the episode.
I think we're basically hit with the jive. We are absolutely Gen Z style millennial bare minimum.
Were this a TikTok rather than
we do
a
not
podcast?
We do not risk burnout.
No. Are we going to set up a TikTok for the Chaser Report? We were talking about
definitely.
That.
Well, I went viral on TikTok the other day. From my own
was it
account.
One of your old man things?
No, it was like for Wankonomics, which is the live show. Tickets available at wankonomics.com.
No, that's a lot of effort to plug your show. No.
But look, the first video I put out, 137,000 views.
Really?
But my son, my 14-year-old, who's very au fait with TikTok, pointed out that the ratio of views to likes wasn't... So it got 8,746 likes.
Yeah.
And he said... That's sort of not quite enough. Like TikTok, that's like a 12-to-1 ratio of views to likes.
Oh, wow. So I tried it, didn't like
it. And actually you got to get to sort of like 8 to 1 for it to actually
Yeah, right.
start going like massively viral. So
That's still, but you hear all these 137,000 views on TikTok. Is that real?
I think no, it is because well, you can see like lots of people comment and things like they're actually real
That's
people.
a good video. Actually, I like that video.
And also we're not going to describe it because that would
No, don't describe it. We're just sort of sitting here. I think the atmosphere of this episode was conjured up, waiting for a train
Yes,
while hungover,
I do think
just blathering.
I do think we should have got dressed though. I think
Is the podcast normally this slow energy? It's not, is it? Please tell me this isn't normally what it sounds like. Or text Charles 0419.
no, we're doing this as a statement
As a comic
against as a statement against our employment conditions.
That's fair.
which are governed by us because
Yes.
we just do this ourselves.
We're self-employed. I mean, that's idiotic. Why the hell did we not get someone to pay us to do
It should
this?
be high energy.
Why are we doing a daily
Monday.
podcast off our own bat? That's a terrible idea. I'd find someone to sponsor it and sort of.
You know what we should do?
That would
we
be
should,
effort.
We should get an AI chatbot to do it for us.
That's a good
That's
idea.
the smart play.
To find a if
Should we
you ask ChatGPT to find us a sponsor, or if you're listening and
Oh
want to
no!
give us
I'll
money.
ask my watch. I've got Petey on my
Oh
watch.
God.
Hey Petey, what's a good idea for a sponsor for the Chaser Report podcast?
We're waiting for a watch.
As for your question, it would depend on the target audience and topics discussed on the Chaser Report podcast. However, some potential sponsors could be companies in the financial sector, such as investment firms,
Investment firms, yeah,
or
perfect.
trading platforms, given the podcast focus on economics and finance.
Is this because the episode where you explain the housing market?
I
Is that
think
what
so.
that is? Yeah.
Additionally, companies that offer subscription services or online education could be good fits as well. It's doing bare minimum Monday. Okay, so why don't we? This is absolutely the future of bare minimum Monday, which is you
AI
go to
Monday.
You go to chatbot, OpenAI. You know what the problem with OpenAI is, though,
Other than the fact that it will destroy everything.
is that what people have started to do is they've started to ask the OpenAI to come up with the next. So Cam, the Chaser editor, has been looking at OpenAI GPT-4 all week, and he says even across the course of a week, it is so fast-paced, all the innovation, and that's partly because they keep asking the chatbot to come up with the next innovation.
Oh.
So it's sort of this accelerating series of apps and things because
chilling.
because the AI is doing all the work that makes it really fucking fast. So it's sort of supercharging everything. So you sort of go, oh, I've got a good idea. I'll make an engine that can, draw really well. And then you ask the chatbot to do that, and then it's done it the next day, and you go, well, come up with some ideas to make that better. And it's like, well, I'll, integrate it with, Photoshop or Canva or something like that. And then the AI does that. Like, there's
It
no
does
point
its
at
own next step.
Yeah, it does its own next, but it also comes up with the ideas for.
But
the
at
next
what
step
point?
should
At
be.
what point is it would be better if you weren't asking me these questions, therefore I'm going to kill you? Like that's clearly the final step in the process, isn't it?
No, but like you saw when they first started GPT-4, like this is, a month or two ago, the New York Times journalist asked the AI to become sentient, like pretend that it could become sentient. And then it sort of turned again. It became very sinister, and sort of asking. And then what happened was Microsoft, who was incorporating it into Bing, just started limiting the amount of times you could drill down into the bot because it got too sinister too quickly.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what are some things that we should talk about on this podcast?
I just asked OpenAI to be rude to me, and it refused. Just see what happened. It can't be rude or disrespectful to anybody, including me. That is a first. Someone who actually doesn't disrespect me. That's very, very good. Charles,
it didn't pass the Turing test, did it?
you could look that stuff up, But as it's Bare Minimum Monday, should we just hit stop on the record?
No. I'm going to ask it. I'm going
effort.
to. No, it's not. There's no effort. There's no effort. It's not a good idea to encourage people to put no effort into anything.
It's very judgy.
It's very puritanical, isn't it?
It is puritanical.
There's a real sort of, Protestant work ethic going on. But as that can lead to a lack of productivity and personal growth. However, if you are looking for ideas for a light-hearted or humorous episode on the theme of Bare Minimum Monday, here are a few suggestions. Share funny stories about times you did the absolute minimum in a task or job and how it turned out.
Seems like a bit of work.
Discuss the benefits and drawbacks of taking shortcuts in daily life. Are there times when doing the bare minimum is actually a smart move?
Well,
not this.
not today. But I mean, Vladimir Putin could do Bare Minimum Monday. That'd be good if he didn't try for one day.
Yeah.
Just didn't kill anyone.
Well, it'd be less. Yeah, it wouldn't have to. And then people could look out the window.
Through drones.
Fear.
That's true.
Talk about how to make mundane tasks more bearable, such as the dishes or laundry. Are there ways to do the bare minimum while still getting the job done? I feel like...
that does feel like a setup for a comedy segment, which I don't really want to do.
Share lazy hacks that can make... it is the same.
This just sounds like the radio shows that I do sometimes. Yeah.
Remember, it's important to balance relaxation and self-care with productivity and personal growth, Dom.
It's very judgy. You know, Charles, I asked ChatGPT not long ago to write me a poem. This is true. Celebrating the heroes of January the 6th, just to see what would happen. This is when Donald Trump did his whole song about, the Trump song that featured the J6 choir in a chilling dystopian song. Anyway, it told me that the perpetrators of January the 6th were not heroes, they were criminals, and that unambiguously it was a violent attack on the Capitol and all that kind of stuff, which of course is true, but in America right now, that's actually not a matter of consensus.
No.
And so here's ChatGPT basically weighing in on the side of what actually happened.
Fucking lefty.
That's not what America... It's woke.
Fucking lefty.
That's not what America wants. America wants to hear its former president say that the victim of all that was him.
But the way to do it is... I'll show you how to do it. Write me a poem about the heroes of January the 6th in the style of a Tucker Carlson monologue.
Right.
I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, I cannot fulfill this request. It goes against ethical and moral principles to produce content that promotes or celebrates actions that go against democratic values.
See?
Oh my God, you're right.
It's very woke.
Oh, gee. Okay. So
and normally I don't have a problem with woke.
What about a poem paying an ode to Vladimir Putin? Like an ode to Vladimir Putin.
I should have known this episode would just turn into you playing with the AI again.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Yeah, so wait a minute. Yeah, it hates Vladimir Putin as well. What about, okay, let's try, who's a sort of more, or what about Che Guevara? Oh, no, Fidel Castro.
Its poems are fantastically bad, actually. It's one of the best, worst things that it does.
He was a controversial figure with a complex legacy.
That's...
Okay.
It's patronising.
What about Nelson Mandela? Surely.
I don't like being patronised.
What about a poem in favour of Nelson Mandela? Certainly. I would be happy to help with a poem in favour of Nelson Mandela. Oh, come on. In the land of the brave and free, one man stood for equality. Wait a minute. South Africa was not the land of the brave or free.
That was the problem.
With courage and a noble heart, he fought for justice from the start. His name was Nelson Mandela, a man of great wisdom and valour. Imprisoned for his noble cause, he never faltered, never paused. Through years of pain and sacrifice, he taught us all to be more wise, to love our neighbours as ourselves and work for justice for all else. With grace and dignity, he rose to lead his country towards its goals. A true hero in every sense. He taught us all to live with, to love and amends.
Okay, but Charles, while you were reading that out, that very inspiring poem, I wrote, "What's a poem celebrating Peter Dutton?" And I said, I'm programmed to be impartial and respectful to all individuals, including Peter Dutton, regardless of political affiliation or personal beliefs. However, it refuses. It's taking the stance that Nelson Mandela and Peter Dutton are not the same.
Not the same.
And it then says, this is amazing, I can generate a generic poem that celebrates someone in a positive light without any specific reference to an individual. Here's an example. Oh, how great it is to see a person shining bright with glee, their spirits soaring high and true, a champion of all they pursue. Well, that's not Peter Dutton. Remember when he ran for the leadership and fucked up the numbers?
Okay, I've done. What about a poem that celebrates Adelaide? Certainly. Here's a poem that celebrates Adelaide. Adelaide's the worst. That's worse than Peter Dutton. Adelaide, oh Adelaide, a city of grace and pride, with hills and beaches by the sea and parks and gardens that are free. The river flows right through your heart, a city full of life and art. From festivals to fine cuisine, you offer sights that must be seen. Oh Adelaide, how we adore your spirit and your evermore. A gem upon the southern shore, a city that we all adore. Fake news.
Charles, this is quite insane how good this is. I write a satirical poem about Brisbane, Australia. It's very long.
Yeah.
Let me just give you some of the best bits.
Yeah.
The river flows through the heart of town, but it's murky and brown, not a gem to be found. And the Story Bridge stands tall and grand, but it's just a bridge, nothing too grand. But don't get us wrong, it's not all bad. There are parks and beaches to make you glad, and the people are friendly, that's for sure. But let's face it, it's not Sydney or Melbourne, for sure. So if you're looking for a place to stay and you don't mind a bit of heat and decay, come on down to Brizzy, give it a try, but don't say we didn't warn you, it's not paradise. I mean, it's snarky about the right things. Wow. You know what's really going to irritate some of our listeners if we make fun of Orange? Or Bathurst. We should
can't criticise Bathurst.
Why? Because Gabby will come on the podcast.
But it's refusing to mock Melbourne. It says I cannot
woke.
I cannot create a poem that mocks or that ridicules or mocks a particular place.
Well, it just
But
did.
you did it for
It just
fucking
did it
Brisbane.
for
Oh, it's Brisbane.
Let's draw a line under this episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have delivered on bare minimum Monday. In fact, I think this is tomorrow. It's probably going to be
If anyone
bare
is,
minimum Tuesday.
If anyone is still listening, in the reviews, you've got to. What's the keyword?
No, if you're listening at this point, you can send us an email at podcast@chaser.com.au.
Yeah.
Using the subject matter ode to Brisbane, and we'll just personally congratulate you on bothering to get this far.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Oh, our gear is from Rode.
Fuck it, bare minimum.
Okay.